So for level 1, which is the tutorial, the player will receive messages from someone which comes in the text box, and he tells him that he needs to escape this place because he has been ambushed. So he has also set up teleporters for the player so that he can aid his escape. So whatever is in the black box with white text is actually the tutorial, so he will tell him to press F to carry the box or to press spacebar to jump. So as this is tutorial level, there is very little chance for the player to die. Therefore, there is no penalty even if the player drops when he is testing out platforming in the tutorial level. So he can also press E to interact with NPCs. Yes. So over here he has to hit all the targets as a form of practice on what's coming next to each other turrets. So after he has hit all of the targets, the door opens and he'll be exposed to turrets that only shoot forward because this is still tutorial level. So the turrets have health, so if the player manages to kill it, it will explode and the health bar disappears as well. These green orbs are collectibles which helps the player regain health. So these are exploding mines that if they go too near, if the player goes too near, it will explode and deal a lot of damage towards the player. So as this is tutorial level, there is also a lot of health pickups for the player, as well as no red zones where the player can fall into and die. So in level 2, things will get a bit harder for the player, and it is also depicted in the tutorial text. So over here there are more like complex puzzles and also red zones where the player will die if he drops into, but he will respawn at the latest checkpoint. So he has to make use of the movable crates to bypass certain obstacles like the red zone, and also use it to activate switches to open doors. So over here, the player will be prompted that there are indestructible turrets ahead. So he has to use the box and use it as a form of cover so that the bullet won't be able to hit him. And also use it for another switch to open the door. So this place is filled with red zones that the player cannot fall into. And from what the player have learned in the tutorial levels, he needs to hit all the firing targets so that he can open the door. So he has to bypass some platforming elements to do that. Over here you can also see the highlight, the outline of the actor. So the outline of the actor will disappear after a while. As in after it goes out of range. So over here the player will need to use multiple boxes to maneuver his way through to get to the other firing target. So once he has hit all firing targets, the door will open and he can proceed. So over here he is exposed to spinning blades, and they are in red color as well, so anything in red means that they are indestructible. So the player has to carefully maneuver through the spinning blades together with the movable crate, and he can finally place it on the switch to open the door. So this stage is this area is sort of like a mini boss level where it is where there are tons of mines around, as well as a giant indestructible turret that shoots like 10 bullets in a very short time. So like the damage of the bullet is also very high, so the player needs to make use of the sliding door so that he doesn't get hit by the turret, because his cover, which is the pushable crate, is already on the switch. for the final level, which is the third level and also the hardest level, the player will also still have to make use of crates and teleporters and also switches to activate doors. He will also be exposed to breakable platforms or falling platforms. So these platforms will respawn back after a while. And he will also be exposed to his very first AI, which is a patrolling AI. So you can see that there's also an outline actor on it when it's near to indicate that he's near enough to be attacked. The AI also has a range where he can see in front of him. And when alerted, there will be an exclamation mark that appears on top of him. The player can find more health collectibles in this secret area. So over here you can see one patrolling AI and two roaming AI that roams around a certain radius. So when we are in range, they will start chasing the player. And they all have health bars, so the player can kill it. But in the case where the player couldn't kill it on time, it will self-destruct in contact with the player and deal a lot of damage. So over here there are more falling platforms and AI that is on default state. So there are various states of the AI: patrolling, default, chasing the player, attacking the player, and also roaming. So over here, the player will be exposed to indestructible turrets once again. And he has to carefully maneuver through so that he doesn't get hit by the bullets. And at this stage, the player should feel a lot of pent-up frustration about why he cannot defeat the indestructible turrets, which is why I decided to introduce the special bullet. So the bullet changes color from blue to orange, and now he has the power to defeat indestructible turrets at one hit. So this bullet gives him a lot of power and damage. So not only can he defeat indestructible turrets at one hit, he can also now kill the AI robots in one hit as well. So this is the boss level where the player is exposed to a lot of AI, indestructible turrets, and once again the boss turret that he has seen in level 2, which he had to avoid and dodge from, but now because of the special bullet he's able to attack the boss turret. So this will give the player a sense of satisfaction because he is able to do what he couldn't do before. And if the player dies, he will just respawn at the latest checkpoint, which is very near, which is at the start of this area. And once he is done killing everything, he would have completed the game and escaped the lab successfully. So now I'll be talking about 3 of the sophisticated technology that I have and also some others. So first of all, it's outlining an actor. So I've used sphere trace for objects, and for the object types I've set it to be interactables. So using the first person camera, I trace what's in front of me with a range and a radius, and then I check the hit results. And if it is what I want, I will start tracing. And if it is not what I wanted, which is the old actor, I will end the tracing. So this is how I set up my whatever I want to be able to be traced. I set the collision to be custom, afterwards set the object type to interactable, and also set the tag to outline. And now this object will have an outline whenever the sphere cast senses it in front of me. So this is what I have at the start tracing function. I get the component by the outline tag, and then I set render custom depth. And I set it true and false according to when I want it to start tracing. And as for the end tracing function, it does a similar thing except with a sequence, and setting the render custom depth false. So now I'll talk about picking up objects, which is picking up the boxes and also placing them down. So I have a custom pick up object event. I'll play a sound and then I'll cast a line trace to check of what's in front of me. And then I'll check the break hit result, check if it is simulating physics, because only the box simulates physics. And then I'll grab the component at the location and set the bool to true. And when the player presses F, if it's true, he will pick up the object. If it's true, he will drop the object, sorry. And if it's false, he will pick up the object. So drop object is linked to a sound as well as release component. So this is how I check my player health and to check if it's taking any damage. And once the health reaches 0, I will hide the player and disable its input, and after a 3-second delay, I will set it back. And also enable its input. And also set its location to the respawn location. So on to the AI with more than 4 states. So it has the patrol state, chase, roam, default, and attacking the player. So on begin play, you can switch the AI states from roam, patrol, and chase player. So on patrol, it will get an array of positions and then move between those 2 positions. On chase, it will just get the player character's location and move towards it. It is also linked to chase player. So on C pawn, when the player is in range, it will start chasing the player and start attacking the player. So when it's roaming, it will get a random point around a certain radius and walk towards it. So this is how I set up my enemy health. And it has also another section where if the special bullet is activated, the AI will destroy itself instantly. Otherwise, if the player is just using the normal bullet, the health will decrease by 10 every time it's hit. So this is initializing the widget for the enemy health. And also dealing damage to the player when it gets close to the player. So over here, you can change the AI states. You can also see the range of how far the AI can see. So there's default, roam, patrol, and chase. So if you select patrol, you can input the positions on the array element on where you want the AI to patrol between. So now I'll talk more about advanced materials and how it changes because of certain events. So this is how I did this Tron-like material for my movable crate, which turns green when it is activated on the switch. So I've set it to a lower opacity so that the player can see through the box, which is useful especially when he's trying to dodge bullets. So over here I set a time and frequency so that it's blinking and also swapping the inverting the colors. So there's a 0.3 value on frequency. And on top, using the mask and the sign and the multiply, I am able to do like this outline for the box. And it reacts according to the edge sharpness and edge subtraction variables. Yeah, so this material on begin overlap with the switch, it will change its material to a green material. Yes, so the box will switch to this material whenever it has collided with the switch trigger. So I'll talk about another interesting material that I did, which is the portal. So I used radial gradient exponential to soften the edges of the material, of the texture. I've also rotated the texture in the material blueprint. So this texture is actually made by myself in Photoshop, and I simply rotated it and spun it around so that it looks like a portal in the game.